So I was already looking at other stuff from CES in the Virtua Fighter footage that came out during the NVIDIA presentation. It would have been cool if maybe AMD showed a game that's not out yet, but AMD barely showed anything of their own at their own presentation anyway. We know nothing about the RX 9070 XT and 9070X. We know nothing about those two GPUs, which could shake up the entire GPU market, but maybe they won't, and that's why they're not showing them. Anyways, instead we're looking at AMD-powered devices. A few of them here. Kind of just we'll just wrap both of them up into one before we look at the last thing on the docket today, and that is that Acer has entered the handheld gaming market. Now, technically Acer was already in the handheld gaming market. Acer had the Acer Nitro Blaze 7 or 5. I think it's called the Acer Nitro Blaze 7. And that is a rebranded handheld from a company named, I wish I remembered, but it's like a Chinese company, and they make handhelds and you can buy them in bulk and just put your logo and your name on them. Basically, they just change the design for you. It's a black and I think it's white and orange, but instead Acer took their own spin and changed the colors and stuff. But it was basically an existing handheld, and now they have two new ones that I believe some people also think are rebrands. I'm not sure. I don't have enough knowledge of the situation, so I won't speak out of my ass. But if they are rebranded, it kind of makes sense. Antec did it as well with the Antec Core HS, which is just the Ioneo slide, and it's a lot easier than doing full R&D on a device. And it makes it easier to bring devices over to the West, right? A lot of those devices that existed that are rebranded versions of handhelds usually come from China or Hong Kong or in Japan, right? And those are harder to reach areas for a lot of Western markets without huge shipping costs and tons of wait times for exports or imports. And that really sucks. Hey, Nightmare Samus, how you doing? So that really sucks. So now we have the Nitro Blaze 8 and 11, and those are named by their screen sizes. I wish I was fucking with
My
you.
abyss shall
Thanks
take
for the follow,
you.
much appreciated. I wish I was shitting with you. They are not. January 6th, Acer launched today the new Nitro Blaze 8 and 11 handheld gaming devices designed to elevate mobile gaming experiences with cutting-edge and versatile features. Powered by the Ryzen 7 8840HS, not cutting edge anymore, already about to be on its way out the door as the top gaming mobile CPU for handhelds, right? We're on the Ryzen AI 9 series or Ryzen AI 7 series. I hate putting AI in the name of everything. Take me back to a simpler time. 16 gigabytes of LPDDR5X and up to 2 terabytes of storage. The Nitro Blaze series boasts lightning fast performance and responsiveness. They also have WQXGA touch panels. One is in 8.8 inch, which is the same as the Lenovo Legion Go, and that must be their Blaze 8, and then a 10.95 inch, which is their 11, featuring the Radeon Super Resolution AMD FX Super Resolution technologies to ensure fluid image quality. FSR looks like shit, stop lying. The new mobile gaming controller enhances the gaming experience by enabling users to game anywhere and anytime with its foldable design. They're talking about a telescopic controller for mobile handhelds, or rather for phones, for phone gaming. And what mobile devices exist that are not phones that can use this? The Razer Edge. Oh, you got a new Razer Edge controller if you're a Razer Edge user and you hate the Kishi. Congratulations. You could have just bought a Tessin. Anyways, here are the devices. We are here looking at the Blaze 8. I believe this is the Blaze 8. Yeah, this is the Blaze 8 because the Blaze 8 is a full device. It is one solid piece. Kind of like another company did that did it first when you think about PC gaming handhelds. And it's got the same specs as the other, minus the screen. You know, the LPDDR5X RAM at up to 7,500 megatransfers per second. Very standard. Same thing with the 780M graphics. And the Ryzen 7 processor, very standard with this last generation of gaming handheld PCs. And the ones that are, of course, late to market. Here's the 11, though. I saw a picture of this, like a guy holding the 11. And it looks massive. I wish I could find that article. Maybe we try to find the picture of the Acer Nitro Blaze 11. Because it was really funny looking. Holy shit, here's the picture. Dude, look at... Dude. This is a handheld? This is a Surface with controllers with that. My brother in Christ. I mean, look, I'm all for big screens. I have an 8.8-inch screen because I have the Legion Go. So I'm not knocking it. Some people might really want a screen this big for a device, but it does look a little comical. Like it looks like an anime character is about to pull out a fucking dual disc and tell you it's time to duel. Right? This doesn't look real. This looks like a cartoon. And it doesn't help that it's got like the giant fan on the back and all the gamer aesthetics, but it does come with some cool UI. So let's go back to the original post and maybe they talk about the UI on it. I don't know if they do. Yeah, they don't talk about it here, but on the 11, it has on the top 2 USB-C ports, a headphone jack, and a USB-A port, right? So the only other devices that come with USB-A ports that I can think of off the top of my head are the 1X player devices and the bigger ones, right? Like the original 1X player and 1X player 2. Those were pretty big devices with detachable controllers, similar akin to the Legion Go. Very thick, also had a kickstand. Same with this, also has a kickstand. But they had a USB-A port, which I think is very cool. I think the AOK Zoe A1 also had a USB-A port. But once again, very small companies in 1X player and AOK Zoe. So you might not even know who the fuck they are. You're like, what did you just say to me? I only know Lenovo, MSI, Steam, or Valve rather, and an Asus, right? I only know the big 4. I don't. What the fuck is it? Neo. What the fuck is an AOK Zoe? This device is comparable in a way to things like the Lenovo Legion Go, just a lot bigger. And I hope that it comes with some cool attachments and add-ons to make it feel more like a small laptop, right? It'd be cool because I see the pogo pins at the bottom. It'd be cool if those pogo pins hook up to something like a keyboard that's like a low profile keyboard that has like a flip on it that lets you close it up very easily, and it's got like a felt backing to protect it, right? Like almost like a Surface at that point. And if you're paying, I don't remember the price of this one, Blaze 8, but the 11, it's in the fucking name. It's $1,100 starting with the 16 gigabytes of RAM, not even 32. I don't know if there's a 32 gigabyte version. It's fucking $1,100. That's pretty pricey, but it is a very powerful chip for the price, and you will be able to play all the games you would play on any other gaming handheld PC on it on a way bigger screen, which means the pixel density will unfortunately be lower, but 11 inches is still pretty good. You can play a lot of games at 1080p or 1200p rather on a 14-inch, 15-inch, 16-inch display, and they don't look awful. So they're going to look just fine on something like an 11-inch display. They're going to look very crisp. They're going to look nice, and they're going to have enough performance probably to at least play at that 1200p resolution, which I think is good. You're not playing mini games at 1600p unless you're playing like, I don't know, fucking Stardew Valley or like Core Keeper. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Stardew Valley. That game's still going. Let's fucking go. And the last thing they announced is just the telescopic controller. It's not for PCs unless, I mean, look, this is kind of a computer, but it's not what you would consider a computer, really. This is their Acer Nitro mobile gaming controller. The Nitro gaming controller, mobile gaming controllers, portable and foldable design is ideal for players who want to game on the go. The plug-and-play controller is compatible with Android and iOS devices, featuring an adjustable design that accommodates up to screens up to 8.3 inches. That's pretty big. I wonder how big the Razer Edge is. It connects to phones seamlessly via the USB-C port and the included rubber pads to provide secure grips. Holding devices of various sizes, even with cases, I think that's very cool because having to take off your case to use a telescopic controller is kind of ass, while ensuring a comfortable feel during gameplay. Gaming sessions are kept uninterrupted with pass-through 18-watt fast charging support to ensure extended and worry-free gameplay. I wish that was also an OTG port. They didn't mention it, so that you could like use this as a controller and then play on a bigger screen. If you have like a dock or a USB-C to HDMI dongle or USB-C to HDMI cable, you can play it on your TV. You can play your mobile games on your TV with your phone / control, right? A really wide controller that is very unergonomic. Looks almost like a Nintendo Switch Lite, right? And it's got like the Joy-Con-esque controls. It's got the foldable design, the same as the RG Tessin. I don't see any RGB here. Fake gamer device, no RGB. But if it accommodates big phones, that's really good. Here are the prices. I was talking out of my ass. No, I wasn't. I was right. Yeah. So it's $900 in Q2 for the Acer Nitro Blaze 8. It's $1,100. Sorry, I'm only speaking in dollars. for the Acer Nitro Blaze 11, also available in Q2, and Q2, the Acer Nitro Mobile Gaming Controller will be available in the United States for $69.99 Q2, right? So all these are Q2, very cool. They've got the full spec sheet here for the devices on their website. I don't see that it says you can go up to 32 gigabytes of RAM, so that big ass tablet might be stuck. You might have to get someone to custom solder 32 gigabytes of RAM onto this thing, which I've heard people do with their Steam Decks and ROG Allies. So it'd be very cool to do something like that with this, or my Legion Go. Maybe that's a good idea. Maybe that's something I should look into. But speaking of Legion and detachable controllers, we may as well look at the Legion Go things that are coming out as well. Asus didn't show off any new ROG devices, any new ROG Ally devices in their keynote that I watched last night as I was falling asleep as they were talking about AI. And they talked about desktops for like 2 minutes and laptops for like 45 fucking minutes. I almost fell asleep. But Lenovo's was all about the gaming handhelds. They also showed their laptops powered by the RTX lineup of CPUs and the Ryzen HX X3D chips, which I think is really cool. But mainly, I'm here to talk about the Lenovo Legion series, or Legion Go series. And there's 3 new devices when they originally only released 1. And they were talking about making a Legion Go originally that was going to be powered by the Z1 and be smaller and not have detachable controllers. But that never came to fruition. I believe that actually just became what we now know as the Legion Go S. So the Legion Go S is an 8.8-inch screen, if I'm not mistaken, with a 1200p display. So they lowered the display density, which is fine, right? There's less pixels, but reasonably you're not really using that 1600p unless you're watching media or playing older games. 2 versions, 2 SKUs of this device. One powered by Windows 11 and the other powered by SteamOS. And the SteamOS version confirmed they just worked with Valve, and Valve gave them access to SteamOS free of charge as long as they made sure they worked closely with Valve and got all of the features and powered by SteamOS guidelines available. One of the developers of SteamOS was talking at CES about how, yeah, you just ask us and we make sure your device is compatible and we work alongside you. Your device is actually totally fine on SteamOS otherwise, right? You are allowed to do that. That's awesome. I think that's really cool. And then we also have the Lenovo Legion Go 2, which is a handheld prototype planned with a native OLED display, and it's going to have double the RAM from the previous version and a bigger battery. I believe it's going to be 74 watt hours, and it's going to be 74 watt hours and 32 gigabytes of RAM, which would be double. Duh. It still comes with the True Strike controllers. The Legion Go S, both versions, are actually just a full thing. They're a whole, I can show a picture here. These controllers do not detach. The touchpad is smaller. The controllers don't detach. They still have the Hall effect thumbsticks and triggers, and they have full analog triggers, but with trigger stops now. New feature, because the Joy-Cons don't detach. Fucking hell. Or the True Strike controllers don't detach. It has front-firing speakers. Something I didn't talk about in the Legion Go review is that the speakers sound like absolute dog shit out of the gate, and you have to tinker them in software. But once you tinker them, they sound all right. But they're up-firing. They're up-firing speakers. Don't even bounce off your stomach or bounce off your chest. They kind of just go into the ether. Front-firing speakers are my cats just turned off my internet, I think. I'm not sure what happened. So now I'm gonna have to splice this together. I hate having to splice stuff together. My cats just go fucking shit up. Here they go. Anyways, we're back right into it. What I was saying a second ago is that down-firing speakers are at least better than up-firing speakers because they kind of bounce off your stomach or they bounce off your chest if you're playing high up. It just kind of goes into the void, goes into the ether when you have up-firing speakers, which is something the original Legion Go had that the Legion Go S won't have to deal with. A cool new feature also is the fact that they are 120 hertz with VRR, if I'm not mistaken. They weigh a little less. They are 1.6 pounds, 730 grams instead of something like 800. They have a 55.5 watt hour battery instead of the 49.2 with a smaller screen, which means less things to power. They also don't have the type of controllers, less things to power, and they have a more responsive, apparently, touchscreen. Still have 2 USB 4 ports, still have the headphone jack, and they can have up to 32 gigabytes of RAM. Very cool. There's 2 different versions of this. The black is going to be the Steam OS version. It's got the Steam button up at the top, and then the other one will not be SteamOS. It'll be normal Windows, you know. So if you hate Windows 11, this is the device for you. It's also going to be cheaper. I believe the Windows version is going to be $739, and the Legion Go S Steam Edition or SteamOS version is going to be $599. That's really good. That is right alongside the OLED Steam Deck, which I think is great. I don't know how they got it down to this price unless Valve is subsidizing it, knowing that Valve is going to be making some of that money back by selling games on Steam, right? Because this is a SteamOS powered device, so now you're more than likely only going to have Steam as your main storefront. That's really cool. And a very competitive price as well. Lastly, we have the prototype for this Legion Go 2. Looks just like the original Legion Go, except it has a better D-pad. Hopefully this D-pad feels better. It looks good. I kind of like the triple RGB thingy going on these new devices instead of just the one ring. Shout out to the Magic the Gathering card, the one ring. It also has more pronounced buttons on the side, which I think is kind of strange for these side buttons. But, I mean, you can just turn them off in software. The Legion Space buttons are still in the same spot. They added 2 new buttons down at the bottom. So there's 6 auxiliary buttons altogether, not including any extra buttons that you map using software on the back, which I'm sure they'll still have the 4 remappable buttons on the back, just like the original Legion Go. Probably also has the trigger stops as well, which I think is very cool. Still has a very big touchpad and the volume buttons, of course. So I'm big time loving this. This also has an OLED display, and it's 16 by 10 as well. I don't know if it's going down in resolution though. I see 32 gigabytes of 7500 megahertz LPDDR5X here with a Z2 Extreme processor with RDNA 3.5 graphics. So this is going to have a different chip. This is not going to have the 780M because 780M is not 3.5. Ergonomic refinements apparently. Yeah, it definitely looks a little slimmer. It doesn't look so chunky on the sides, where some people say it's kind of hard to grip, but I didn't have those issues. And it's got a bigger battery. It's got a 74 watt hour battery, which is a 25% increase, right? Am I tripping? Is that a 25% increase? Or that might be more than 25% if I'm not mistaken. But it's a big increase from the original Legion Go at its 49.2 watt hours. So this is going to last longer. If it has an OLED screens are more efficient, which is good. And if it has a 16 by 10 display still, 144 hertz. Ooh, still 144 hertz. So kind of high, not 120. But it does have VRR. Sure, I mean, I'm excited for it, but not excited enough to pick it up at full price, which I'm assuming is going to be something like $899 or $999. This is going to be a very expensive handheld. Probably didn't lose the True Strike features, right? Still going to be a jack of all trades, master of none, tablet, mini laptop kind of productivity, because keyboard and mouse, or mouse really, and also gaming handle all in one. This is a pretty cool device. I think this is a nice slate of devices that they have on their hands, especially with the SteamOS. I think that's really cool. They also have some AR glasses. They didn't talk about a high-powered version of a SteamOS device, so as far as we know, Legion Go 2 will only have Windows 11. We don't right now know that it's going to ship with a SteamOS version and a Windows version. The black one seems to be the Windows version, so maybe they'll just also have a SteamOS version, but it'll have, like, I don't know, yellow or orange accent somewhere, so you can tell that it's a SteamOS version. That's really the dream, because I would love to see some of these stronger devices ship with SteamOS natively, because Steam said that they're ready to work with third parties, with OEMs trying to get more people with SteamOS in their hands, which I think is a good thing for the vast majority of gamers. These are the only handhelds that I remember seeing so far that are Windows powered at CES. If there was some I missed, leave them down in the comment section down below. Like the video, subscribe to the channel. I yap about video games, video game hardware, not so much arcade sticks anymore, and gaming handled PCs a lot. So if you like that, come back to the channel or come to the Twitch stream and see it all live. This has been Beanie Thuggish for the YouTubes, talking about the new CES gaming handheld reveals. Signing out, splicing this shit together later because of my cats, signing out and saying peace.